Bet horse racing on DRF Bets. We'll match your first deposit of $200. Get free expert picks and past performances, plus weekly cash back. All from Daily Racing Form, the most trusted name in horse racing.
Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer here at beautiful Pimlico, getting set for this week's Preakness. We'll see if Mystic Dan can make it 2 for 2 on his quest for the Triple Crown. But Friday has the Grade 3 Pimlico Special. $250,000 is the purse. We're going 1 mile and 3/16, the Preakness distance. Let's take a peek at this field, and we'll see how good Kings Barnes is, Mike. For Todd Pletcher, this horse always showed a lot of ability, won the Louisiana Derby last year, and he's come back rolling at 4.
Like the way he's come back off the layoff, 2 for 2 since Todd brought him back, got the sprint prep in, stretched him out last time, thought he looked really good winning at Keeneland.
And he's got tactical speed, and you can argue he has way more tactical speed than the horse he has to beat, the horse coming from off the pace, Red Route 1. But Red Route 1 might have an ace up his sleeve, and that's the horse down on the inside, according to our pace projector, Harlow Cap. Steve Asmussen told me earlier this week they're going to be aggressive with this horse.
Yeah, maybe he's just in here to provide a little bit of pace, because if nothing else, Red Route 1, who's coming into this race off of back-to-back triple-digit buyers, then he runs one of those races, he'll be a handful in here. He just needs the right kind of setup.
Harlow Caps coming off of a third-place effort and a second-level allowance. This race at Oaklawn at 1 mile and 16. There was a race that had no pace, and she settled off of it, and she just really couldn't make up any late ground. I think she's better than that performance, which yielded an 89 buyer. The problem is he's just going to have to do more than that.
Yeah, you wonder if he's ever going to find that breakthrough. I remember when he started out his career for Bob Baffert, I really felt like this horse had a ton of potential. He just has never really delivered on it, Dan. His recent form is okay for Asmussen. It's not going to get it done against these horses. And maybe, as we've already pointed out, maybe he's just in here to provide a little pace.
After Kings Barnes won his first 3 starts, he went right to the Kentucky Derby, probably a little bit too much too soon. And after an okay effort when the beaten odds-on favorite in the Pegasus, Todd does what he does very well.
Yeah.
Give horses plenty of time to mature, and it just seems like that gambit has paid off. 2 for 2 this year, Kings Barnes, including this victory in the Ben Ali, where he pulled early, then was able to just settle nicely on the outside. Once he was produced, he stayed on in a professional fashion.
Yeah, I liked the trip that he got in that race. I also liked the way that he got the job done in there. Maybe the best part of that race, it's the second time that he's won at this distance. And I just like the way he finished things off there. He never really gave that field a chance to get into the race. It was another step in the right direction for this horse, who's still very lightly raced. But you can see his talent every time they send him out of the track.
Here's one of your favorite horses, Mike, the number 3, Double Crown. It seems like every week Double Crown is back in the entries. This time he got a little bit of a breather. It was 10 days since his most recent effort. This race where he ran second at Parks behind a speedy winner, Mo Visitor. Double Crown, I just think, has seen better form.
I agree with that. He's another horse I kind of feel like the more distance you put in front of him, probably the less effective he is. They're going to stretch him out again for this race. He always shows up. He's a really, really cool horse, Dan. I don't love his recent form. It seems like he's in a little tough here.
Pyrenees is sort of the now horse in this
I think
field,
so.
isn't he? He's won his last 3 starts. I love the way how Cherie DeVaux has handled him. He's just rolled through his connections, and he's done so showing improved speed with each and every start, and that can be very important in a race like this. If the 1 and the 2 go, Pyrenees can sit just off, and if they don't go, he can make the lead.
Yeah, I like that about him, too. I mean, it's almost like when you go back and watch the most recent start at Keeneland, they had the rail that day, and they just decided they were going to go with it. They put him right on the front. He won that race, I thought, though, very convincingly, Dan. His prior 2 efforts at Fairgrounds, they weren't fast, but he let paces go in there. He sat right off it. When it was time to go, he went. I really like the way he won those races, too. It feels like there's more room to improve for this horse. He's going to have to show it here, but this horse could be pretty good.
If you're just a buyer guy, you're going with Red Route 1. You don't even need the handicap. Last 2 races, 100, 101. These horses can't get to 100, 101, and they haven't just yet. The problem with Red Route 1 is his running style. And it's not a problem when he wins or he gets a good trip or he gets a clean pace, but he needs all those things.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he's the kind of horse who's just really, really tough to take any kind of a short price on, and he's 8-5 on the morning line here. He deserves to be one of the favorites in this race. His overall form is good anyway, but his last 2 races are the best races he's ever run. We'll see if everything works out for him here. It does feel like I feel like there's enough pace in here, Dan, to set up his run. We'll see if he can take advantage.
Time for Trouble's up next. This horse ran 3rd in the Essex, 2 starts back behind First Mission, who's one of the better handicap horses in the country. I thought he had all in all a pretty decent trip. He tried to shoot up the inside, turning into the stretch, and he just couldn't run with those horses. No disgrace there. The problem is, in the Ben Ali, Kings Barnes whipped him.
Yeah, he did, and I really didn't see an excuse for him. I don't know if you disagree with that or not. He did wind up a little bit further away from the pace there, but he got to the outside in the stretch, and he was just sort of grinding there. It never looked like he was going to be that effective. He wound up winning a duel for 4th, pretty far back in there. His overall dirt form is fine, Dan. He is not the best closer in this race, though, and he's another horse who likes to sit and make a run.
Red Route 1's the best closer in this race, and that could be a problem for Be Better because that's his running style as well, going out for Sheldon and Brittany Russell. This horse has no early speed whatsoever, but he does like this distance. He probably needs a pace that's a little bit faster than expected, though. He's going to be even farther back than Red Route 1, I would think.
Yeah, I think so, too. He might need to catch more than just a fast pace from him. He might need a couple of more, a little bit more help from some of these other horses as well. I like him as a horse, Dan. This is a tough race for me to want to bet him in. Maybe I could use him somewhere underneath because I do think he's talented. I just don't want to bet him to win it against a field like this.
You got to go back in the Wayback Machine for Royal Ship, who's earned 4 triple-digit Beyer speed figures in his career, but the last one came in the summer of 2022 when he won Del Mar San Diego. He returned off a lengthy layoff last time out. I wish he ran a little bit better in the Frank Whiteley, but that was kind of a race where he faced 2 sharp horses that are going to come back in stakes races on Saturday at a distance that's way too short for him.
Probably just prepping him there, I guess, but he did chase that pace. He got really tired through the stretch in there and finished last. I guess I won't care about that one too much. I hate to have to go back 2 years to get to his last really good race, but it's pretty clear that he's got races on his page that would give him a real chance in there, and he's 12-1 on the morning line.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Pimlico Special. I'm going King's Barnes, Mike. I think this horse has tactical speed, and I think that's the key. If it really comes down to he or Red Route 1 from a class standpoint, he's getting the jump on that horse.
2 and the 5 are probably the 2 right horses in here. I'm with you. If I had to just take one of them, I would take King Barnes as well. I think there could be a forward move coming. I want to try Pyrenees in this race, though, the 4. He's a great price on the morning line. I like the form that he's in right now. Good trip coming out here.
Still all upside as well. Lightly raced, just like King's Barnes, and he might be sitting on a really good race for a very good trainer. Mike's going to take a shot with Pyrenees to climbing that mountain in the Pimlico Special against some good ones like King's Barnes and Red Route 1.